Hello, this is the Untrained Therapist coming back to you with another video. I already know I released another video called They Accept You, but They Don't Respect You. And I did that like a few hours ago. But I want to come around and make another video with another video topic talking about something else. Pretty much on this channel, I'm going to be talking about like different topics. Nothing really dealing with politics, but mostly like anthropology, mainly things dealing with like the human psyche, things that we desire, as a species. I kind of just wanted to do a talk on one of those points. Main thing I'm going to be talking about today is the law of attraction. And how that coincides with sexual attraction. Okay, so let's dive deep into this topic. So first thing I want to say is that you have to realize, man, that this life is so crazily unfair, and it's crazily unfair to people who are fairly attractive, or I'd say mildly attractive, or whatever, just a good look to look at. And unfortunately, some people don't want to accept this, but with being attractive, like, you just have a lot of breathing room to sort of like be yourself without worrying about if somebody's going to judge you, because they look at you in a certain way already. So they're not going to place no judgment on you. Versus someone who is deemed as less attractive. They're going to sort of like have problems with them or find something wrong with what they're doing. This is what I mean by the law of attraction. Unfortunately, it's a lot more cons that come with being a fairly attractive person. Like, I notice, like, when I'm in public, like, I notice that, and I'm not saying like I'm the most attractive guy in the world, but I'm just saying this happens a lot. When I go into certain public places, I'm treated a certain way. Like, I'm treated a certain way, and it's just go to show you that that attraction is a natural part of human existence. It's part of our primal building block in our brains to be attracted to symmetry due to the uncanny valley, things like that, the uncanny valley, which is a big cause of why some humans have evolved, or why we have evolved so heavily, because of procreation with more, I say, the idea of attractiveness. So but I just say that this life, man, is so unfair. It's so ruthless to those who are deemed as less attractive. Even though I'm the type of person, like, I know at the end of the day, it's about what you have in your brain, because you could be attractive for a while. You can get away with a lot of things when you're younger and you're so attractive, but at some point, people are going to want to know, your value is going to have to lie somewhere else other than just your good looks. Like, you're going to have some type of education, some type of brain about you. It's not going to just be well, I'm attractive, so you're like 70, 80 years old, and you're like, or sometimes 60, and you fall off. Hopefully a lot of you out there don't fall off when you turn 60. Hopefully a lot of you age gracefully. But the idea is that people put so much emphasis on physical attraction, and I don't fully agree with this. I feel like you should have some level of intelligence when it comes to this topic, because a lot of people put so much weight on how they look on the outside and how attractive they are. And I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with admiring how you look. It's nothing wrong with appreciating, the image that God is giving you. But the reality is that looks fade away. At some point, looks fade away. But it all goes back into that point of how unfair life is. Some people, they never have their cake and eat it too. But it's like for attractive people, they seem to get to have their cake and eat it too all the time. And it's like people just see them as people that are more deserving. So they're gonna get flooded with, women. Like a man, if he's a man, he's gonna be flooded with women. He's gonna have women coming at him, trying to get him, and then, he's gonna live his best lives. He's gonna live his best teen years. He's gonna live his best 20s, and he's gonna live his best 30s and even 40s sometimes. So that's like over 4 decades of just good experiences with women, good experiences with opportunities. That's like 4 decades of just nothing but good experiences. Now, it's some downsides to it. You got to deal with jealousy. But if you develop your confidence as a supposed attractive person, it gets relatively easy to deal with hate and jealousy. You know what I mean? But I just kind of want to get on this topic, man, because it's just such a effed up situation a lot of people find themselves in. And I just want to hear y'all thoughts, man, about it, like in the comment section. Like, this really been hitting my mind a lot. It's just like, why are people attracted to certain features? I think the reason why I answer that question for myself, I think the reason why people are attracted to certain features, like featureism and like colorism and things like that, is because the programming. If you weren't programmed to like a certain skin color, then obviously, you're not going to gravitate to certain skin tones. You're going to only want this type of skin tone of a person, or you're going to find an ideal mate of this echelon. So that's what I mean by sometimes, like, as an individual, you're going to find yourselves being with who you find the most attractive, what you prefer. But this all goes to say that looks really do matter. No matter how people try to push it or try to switch it, looks really do matter. I'll be watching Savvy Guy's videos, and he be talking about this topic a lot. Shout out to Savvy Guy. Check out his channel. He makes some really good videos about incels, and I feel like at one point I was in that incel circle, but sometimes I just want to tell him, like, it's a possible way to get out of it, man. You just gotta take care of yourself. You gotta try to do the best you can with what you got. And that's all I do. And I don't even consider myself the most attractive guy in the world. Like, I don't consider myself like a 10. I don't even consider myself a 10. But I just find now that women are more gravitant towards me compared to when I was younger. So I guess, like, my value just went up as I got older. But I just wanted to say that it's a really unfair, fucked up situation that a lot of people find themselves in. And I'm not going to say it's their fault. It's completely not their fault. They didn't ask for this. You know what I mean? And I just think the ideal thing is to treat people how you want to be treated, because it all go back to this thing that looks don't last forever. You're probably not going to always be in your best of shape for years and years and years. I mean, and it just goes back to the golden rule, man. Because some people may face their karma later. You know, they picked on people that they deemed that was unattractive, and then karma just hit. You never know, that person may glow up when they 40, and then they say, you 40, and you done fell off. So sometimes that happens. You know, sometimes that really does happen. People that were deemed as unattractive or, quote unquote ugly, they end up glowing up later in their life because they started making better decisions. They started deciding that they're going to choose themselves. They're not going to choose other people, and they glow up. And sometimes that happens. They find themselves bad on themselves. And shout out to Savvy Kid. He always be so bad on himself, but I see so much potential in him. I see he can be a very super high value guy. But I feel like in this case, like I feel like he just downplay himself so much to where he don't realize that he don't really realize his value. He don't really realize how much value he's finna obtain. He's really getting his life together. He went to school for automotive, and I really see him one day finding him a nice little female, man, because I feel like at some point, man, he gonna start working out, man. He gonna start getting in shape, and I know at the end of the day, none of that really matters. Like, the only thing that matters is really what's in a person's mind. Like, you can have good looks, but you could be dumb as a box of rocks, and that could be one of your shortcomings. And some people don't realize that can be some people's shortcoming. Yeah, they may look really good. They may can get wherever they want and manipulate, but that can only last for so long. You can only manipulate your way to a man's pockets for so long. You can only manipulate your way to a job for so long. People are gonna want to see what's in your brain, because you gotta remember, looks don't last forever. And that's why sometimes I be wanting people to realize, like, they be so into their looks. I'm not saying I'm not a person that kind of look in the mirror, but I'm not always in the mirror 24/7 looking at myself. You know what I mean? Because I know it's something that is skin deep that I have that can outshine everything, that can complement everything else. But I don't mean to make this video long, man. You hit that rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll get back with you guys later. The Untamed Therapist, signing out.